Welcome to Card Market Catalyst, your go-to source for everything related to football card investing. Whether you're tracking the latest market trends or looking for the next big prospect, we've got you covered. If you enjoy the insights, make sure to hit that like button, subscribe to the show, and follow us for all our future episodes.
Welcome to this explainer. The 2026 World Cup is rapidly approaching, and today we're doing something incredibly exciting. We aren't just looking at the tournament through the eyes of a casual fan. No, we are breaking down Group A strictly through the lens of a sports card investor. We're talking market upside, player age, hobby hype, and that undeniable World Cup effect. Group A features Mexico, South Korea, the Czech Republic, and South Africa. And while it might not have the biggest, flashiest global superstars on paper, from an investment standpoint, it is an absolute gold mine if you know exactly where to look. So let me hit you with a high-stakes question right out of the gate. Who do you think is the absolute best football card investment in Group A? Your mind might immediately jump to the legends, right? Maybe you're thinking of the iconic Guillermo Ochoa stepping up for Mexico, or the global phenomenon Heung-min carrying South Korea. Well, I'm here to tell you that the obvious answers, they're very likely the wrong answers. Because here's the thing, and this brilliantly illustrates our core philosophy for today. Being a football legend absolutely does not equal being a great card investment. In the hobby market, future upside always beats past achievements. Holding on to beloved established legends like Heung-min or Guillermo Ochoa might actually lose you money. At the very least, it's going to trap your capital during the tournament hype. We are hunting for the breakout stars, the underpriced assets, and the players whose cards are primed to multiply. Okay, let's dive into this. Here's our roadmap for today. Number 1, Group A, the starting position. Number 2, bookmakers versus reality. Number 3, investments, the buy candidates. Number 4, caution, hold and sell. And finally, number 5, the final ranking. Starting off with Chapter 1, Group A, the starting position. This group is like a giant puzzle. It's a fascinating clash of 4 totally distinct footballing cultures. And honestly, it's arguably one of the most balanced groups in the entire tournament. We've got a clear hierarchy, but with a really interesting twist. Mexico is the favorite for sure. They have a strong squad top to bottom, a massive home continent advantage in North America, and a rich history of navigating group stages. Then you have South Korea, bringing elite, top-heavy star power. The Czech Republic brings this intense physical discipline. And South Africa? They are the true wild card. But here's why this actually matters to us. Balanced groups are literally the most lucrative for investors. Because qualification stays wide open until the final match day, breakout performances carry massive weight and generate incredible demand. The underlying dynamics here create a perfect storm for hidden gems to explode in value. Moving right along to Part 2, bookmakers versus reality. Listen, as an investor, your absolute best friend is a market inefficiency. And right now, there's a massive disconnect between public expectation and reality. Market bookmakers have a very rigid view. Mexico first, South Korea second, Czech Republic third, South Africa fourth. They're blindly focusing all their capital on Mexican and Korean players. But the reality is that the gap between South Korea's elite talent and the Czech Republic's deeply disciplined structure is tiny. I mean, all it takes is a single Czech win over Korea in a direct matchup to completely flip this entire group upside down. That scenario is practically ignored by the market right now, which means a Czech upset would cause a massive unexpected spike in their card values. All right. Let's get to the good stuff. Number 3, investments, the buy candidates. First up, Santiago Giménez. If you can only make one move, honestly, this is it. This is the safest, highest upside play in the entire group. He's entering his prime years and plays a crucial attacking role for a Mexican team that's favored to win the group. And here's the crucial point to remember. In the card market, goals matter. Goals create headlines, headlines create hype, and hype drives massive demand. Combine that with a North American World Cup environment where every single Mexican goal is going to be celebrated like a national holiday, and Giménez's cards are perfectly positioned to become some of the biggest winners of the entire group stage. Our second buy candidate is South Korea's Kang-in. Look, while 90% of the hobby is entirely distracted by Heung-min, the really smart money is quietly accumulating Kang-in. He's just entering his career prime and boasts elite technical quality. But more importantly, he's poised to become the long-term face of Korean football. Identifying tomorrow's stars before the broader market fully catches on, well, that's how you win in this hobby. And Kang-in represents an incredibly attractive long-term growth asset. Before we hit our next picks, let's quickly define something absolutely crucial. the sleeper, or the speculative buy. Basically, actually, think of it as a high-risk, high-reward investment in a heavily overlooked player. Explosive percentage gains happen here precisely because the market just hasn't noticed them yet. These aren't safe bets by any means, but they're the calculated, strategic moves that can yield massive multipliers. And that leads us right to our high-upside sleepers. First, Mexico's Gilberto Mora. He's the youngest true speculative play in the group. Because he is so young, there's virtually zero market inefficiency around him. His buy-in prices are practically at the floor right now. If he breaks out on the World Cup stage, the upside is astronomical. Next, we've got Patrik Schick from the Czech Republic. The market is completely ignoring him, focusing entirely on bigger Czech names. But remember that market inefficiency we talked about earlier? If the Czechs pull off an upset to advance, collectors are going to desperately scramble for the exact players they ignored, and Schultz offers incredible percentage gains. Time to pump the brakes a bit. Number 4, caution, hold and sell. A smart investor knows how to manage risk, right? They don't just blindly buy. So let's talk about our holds, Patrik Schick and Kim-min. Don't get me wrong, on the pitch, these guys are fantastic, world-class footballers. But in the hobby, their cards are already fairly valued. Schick is 30. His story is fully established from past tournaments, and he literally has no rookie market hype left. Kim-min is an incredible defender, but here is a hard truth about sports cards. Defenders rarely, if ever, see explosive price movements. Even a flawless tournament from Kim won't multiply his card value the way a single goal from a young striker would. Keep them if you have them, for sure, but just don't expect massive tournament multipliers. All right, brace yourselves, because this is probably the most controversial take of this explainer. We need to compare the massive perception of Heung-min against the cold, hard market reality. Look, he has an immense legacy, a global fan base, and is without a doubt one of the greatest Asian players ever. But according to our market analysis sources, at age 33, with the market citing a shift away from his peak Premier League spotlight toward the MLS, his growth phase is entirely over. The smartest financial play is actually selling Heung-min into the World Cup hype. His legacy is already completely priced in. The chances of his card values doubling are incredibly slim compared to the younger stars. Seriously, sell into the strength of his fan base. And we've got to apply that exact same ruthless logic to the Mexican veterans. Raúl Jiménez and Guillermo Ochoa are outright sells. Jiménez is 35, and the market is purely trading on his past. Ochoa is a World Cup legend appearing in his 6th tournament, which is amazing for history, but let's be real. It's pure nostalgia. There's zero future growth potential here. Holding these aging veterans is a trap for sentimental fans, not a winning strategy for focused, profit-minded investors. Let's bring it all together. Number 5, the final ranking. Okay, here it is, the definitive, screenshot-worthy summary of our investor playbook, the top 5 Group A investments. Number 1, Santiago Giménez, the absolute perfect intersection of talent, World Cup stage, and market momentum. Number 2, Kang-in, the future face of Korea. Number 3, Gilberto Mora, the Mexican teenager with massive speculative upside. Number 4, we haven't mentioned him much yet, but South Africa's Relemo Helmofakan is your ultra-high-risk African sleeper. He is completely ignored by the hobby, with massive percentage upside if South Africa surprises everyone. And rounding out the top 5 is our Czech sleeper, Patrik Schick. These 5 guys represent your absolute best use of capital in Group A. So I'm going to leave you with this final thought, and really a challenge. Who do you think is the biggest sleeper in Group A? Do you agree with our ranking, or is there some hidden gem the entire market and this analysis is completely overlooking? Applying this analytical framework is exactly how you win in the hobby. Drop your undervalued picks in the comments, stay analytical, and remember to always separate your fan heart from your investor brain. Thanks so much for joining me for this explainer, and I'll catch you next time as we continue to decode the market.
Thanks for listening to Card Market Catalyst. If you enjoyed today's deep dive into football card investing, make sure to like and subscribe.